Yeah, I catch myself doing that sometimes too. Like I'll want to say something or make like a theory or like a guess on something, and then I'll hold back on it because I'm just like am I fully 100% like thinking that that's what's actually happening or the case? Like if I'm not like 100% on it or like if I feel like that's what's actually going on, then I usually will like keep it to myself until like I watch more. So
Yeah.
I feel you on that for
Do
sure.
you know, actually funny you say that, Memory, because do you guys watch your compilation? You know these channels that compile all our reactions? Do you go to the comment section of them?
Yeah,
Ever?
I watch them sometimes. I'll go to the comment section.
Because you know what, they always have these cancerous comments, right? The kind of stuff that they couldn't say on your channels, right? Because you can block them. But there was one dude I was watching, right? And the first comment on that compilation was, "These idiots didn't notice that Popo's arrow is a stand-giving arrow," right? And we're like, we don't have time to do a 10-minute theory crafting video in the middle of a fucking reaction.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Watching it in that instant, in that moment of time, like it's a split second.
Exactly. Like, I'm sure we all noticed that arrow, right? Part 4 had the stand giving arrows.
Yeah.
People are always like giving you shit for missing stuff out. But I'm sure we can all agree right now, every one of us that was in that compilation, and I think all of us who were in it, that we knew that, and we don't want to assume too much until we see more, right? Like you said, Memory. So it's just annoying, you know what I mean? Like we can bring that up as well, like the stand giving arrow and what that means.
Yeah, that's the thing with like sorry. I was just gonna say like that's the thing of like with reactions, like that's always like a tough thing. It's like because when we're watching something we're watching it like with the arrow thing, like it's in that moment, like it's like a split second where we see the arrow in Popo's mouth, like it was like 2 or 3 seconds. So it's like sheesh, like cut us some slack, like we're watching like that's like 2 or 3 seconds out of a whole 24 average minute episode. So it's like,
you remember last season people were expecting all of us to give Killer Queen's a debut shit, right? Because it had like bad frames of animation. For me, when I watched that episode, we were watching it in the moment, right? And everyone's analyzing the frames and saying, "Oh, Killer Queen looked bad." And yeah, I admit, Killer Queen, when they introduced the stand power last season, it looked bad, but it didn't spoil our kind of thoughts on that episode, right? So they always expect you to look at it like with an analytical eye, man, which is kind of like dumb because these people have probably read the manga multiple times, right, and flicked back through and everything. So yeah.
Honestly, bringing up the arrow, like when I saw it, I see my comments. I mean, I only see a few because I try not to read the comments. I'm not trying to spoil myself.
Yeah.
And then it's like there's people like although I love all of my people who watch my videos, like you know what I mean. Of course, I get the criticism and whatnot, but it's like to a point where is this even criticism? Oh, you watch all this and you don't know that's the arrow? Man, I forgot. If anything, it's been so long since I watched JoJo. You know what I mean? It's been a year, and honestly, like with the whole arrow situation, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, oh wow, like if you really think about it. Part 3 is when we were first introduced to the arrows, and who was the main villain in Part 3? Dio. And in Part 5, we got Giorno, his son, and we got the arrow right back. Even though we had it in Part 4, we have it back in Part 5, and we know because of these arrows, like the whole stan community like grew abundantly because of these arrows. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like maybe I may sound like an idiot, but I'm throwing a theory out here. This may be
did his stan arrow, or did it like? I don't understand.
Wait, what was it? What was that, Blaze?
The guy, fucking Penguin from Batman, like his
exactly look like Penguin.
Yeah.
Did like his stand just get gifted that arrow whenever it was created, or did like I don't know.
It must have been passed on to him somehow.
Nah, you know what I think?
Somehow.
Because what was told is there's arrows like that. Like there's like I believe
there's
like
multiple.
A couple. Yeah, like there's.
When's the last time we saw the bone arrow? It was like it was like Kira's dad, right?
And his brother. I think it was Part 4.
No. It was in Part 4. Kira's dad had it. Remember?
Yeah, it was in Part 4.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Kira's dad had it. Where did the arrow go from there? I mean, we know now that the guy in Part 5 has in the last episode.
Yeah, so there's multiple arrows. Though.
Yeah, there's multiple of them.
I don't know if multiple of that one's being passed in. Oh yeah, there is multiple.
Yeah, there is multiple.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like since we were introduced to the arrow in Part 3 and like it's coming back in Part 5, maybe this may be the end of the arrow. I don't know. I kind of have that thought in mind.
So do you guys think that's gonna mean like with with part 3 and part 4, like how we kind of had like it was kind of like episodic almost in a sense, like we're getting like kind of the stand of the week kind of thing. You guys think that's gonna happen with like this part again? You think it's gonna?
No, I think part 3 was him trying to figure it out, and that's like the whole thing. Like Stans was just being introduced and stuff like that, so he was doing all sorts of stuff. But part 4 became more of like the slice of life comedy of utilizing Stans, and then turned into like a murder mystery cat and mouse game, like kind of like a Death Note. And now this one's all about like gangsters and shit. So I feel like we're gonna see a lot of team battles and shit like that, and like taking out turfs and taking over territories and shit.
It's gonna be more so like not just like one stand users, but like maybe groups of them.
Yeah, building your way to the top.
What Giorno is trying to do right now is infiltrate this big gang called what?
Passion.
Yeah. Infiltrate that gang and like I guess destroy from the inside, slowly recruiting members within the gang.
Yeah,
and I guess just take over and basically create like I see him as like a vigilante in a sense where he's doing wrong things, but he's doing wrong things by doing good, if that makes sense. And I mean that kind of fits his character because he's a half Dio, half So like he does fucked up things, but for the greater good. So it's like almost like the combination of Jonathan and Dio. So it kind of fits his character. So in a sense, I don't see it going episodic. I think it's gonna be a moving plot line. I don't see it going episodic.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I did want to raise the question though, just because of like with the arrow being back and again and all that. But like what was I gonna say? In like part 4, how it takes place, in one city, the majority of the time, like this part's gonna be the same way for the most part as well.
But don't they describe this part as like a better version of part 3? It might have an episode.
That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard. That this part is more compared to part 3, like more similar.
You see, I do kind of feel like it will have that episodic vibe that you were talking about. Because if you think about it, we're trying to make our way to the top of this, gang, and I feel like we're gonna meet people who are in the gang that are gonna fight us. You know what I mean? Also, stand users, kind of like that, and bringing up like Dio and Jonathan being the fathers of Giorno. I kind of love that because it's funny, right? Because how I look at it is, I don't even care about Giorno's mom. Like, who cares about her? Get her out of the picture. Two of my favorite people had a baby together. That's their baby, yo. That's their baby, straight up. I love it. JoJo's the only anime where 2 men can have a baby. Like, what the heck are you? Like, man.
Last season, I was complaining that Jotaro's role was pretty small, right? Like, he's not really developed his power since part 3 ended, so it wasn't as strong as we thought it was. We know he's in this part. Do you guys think that Jotaro's gonna have a bigger role? Do you think? Or he's gonna have more drama in this?
I think it's gonna be even more minuscule than it was in part 4. Honestly.
Yeah, Koichi's doing his legwork right now.
Bro, you saw that episode with Koichi, bro? You know what I love? Speaking of Koichi, I love how realistic it was for Koichi to come and cause a problem for Giorno. Because you see, he gets this what is it, a lighter. And he has to keep this. And then Koichi, like, he's coming in to get his passport, which happened in the first episode. I just love how everything was so like well connected and it made sense. Like, Koichi wasn't just going there just to go there. Like, he was going there for a reason, and it could affect like the story with like the whole lighter and Pulpo situation. I really just love that.
Yeah. Do you like his design? His design's slightly different this season. A little bit different than he was. Yeah, do you like his new design?
Really different than part 4. I really love the design.
I like the newish design.
Yeah, same. I like it. I like his hair as well.
The designs always change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something that I'm curious about, and this goes back to Polnareff with part 3. Remember at the end of part 3, Polnareff heads off to France, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if we'll maybe see Polnareff in this part.
I don't know.
Or is that reaching? You think that's reaching?
That's so much fan service that is, but I'd love to see it.
No, I feel like I don't know. I feel like it's kind of reaching, but then again, I don't, because it's like, why would we see, because it's like, what is his importance to this part kind of thing? Polnareff is not in a gang. You kind of get me, but then again, I don't. Who knows? Who knows with JoJo, yo?
He is kind of close. Because I mean, France.
Yeah, what if after the events of part 3, he ends up going to Italy and then becomes like a gang boss or something?
A gang boss.
In his wheelchair and all.
Yeah. Godfather, yeah.
Oh no.
Because what? He lost both of his legs and his, what was it, his right eye? Or his left eye? I don't remember. He lost one of his eyes and he
Yeah.
lost both of his legs. So, I mean, that's something that I just wanted to bring up because, like, I was like, okay, this is set in Italy. This is set in Italy, and Polnareff was going to France. So I'm like,
Yeah.
Honestly,
I'm
another.
leaving that possibility open.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see how it goes. Honestly, like I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I don't know myself.
Do you guys think we'll see a Joseph cameo, like for shits and giggles, like just a small cameo or something?
Yes.
I hope so.
We need
I
it.
hope
We
so.
need it.
It has
We
to
need
be,
it,
man.
bro.
Yeah,
If
there
Joseph's
has
not
to
in
be.
every part, then I can't live.
Oh no! Oh shit! Somewhere else.
Like it's just a scene of him like watching the news or some shit.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Oh man, that would be great.
That would be cool, yeah.
Oh, Joseph, man, legendary character. Even though people have their mixed reviews on him or whatnot, I still love Joseph. I feel like and the thing that I love the most, because you see, when I got into JoJo, when Jonathan passed, I was like, oh, they really kill people here. So it's like I was like, oh wow, they might kill Joseph, and just to see him being one of the JoJos that like lived so long, one of the Joestars, it really makes me happy.
It's kind of hilarious though that it sounds like Joseph has like a bunch of kids out there and he doesn't pay child maintenance, right? So he's got a bunch of little people out there, and God knows how many Joestars out there just living their lives. There's probably like a Hispanic JoJo out there or some shit.
I would not be surprised.
Jose? I don't know that. Jose? I don't know. You guys see what I'm trying to do.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
But what do you guys think about these? Because like, what do you think about the quality? And do you how do you feel like it's progressing so far?
I'm honestly like really, there's been like no like time wasted. Like we literally just, I mean, what was it? The end of the first episode, we already had a like all out kind of an all out stand fight. Like going into episode 2, like they didn't waste any time like at all. So I like how they're getting like straight into it. We got the goal of our main character already. Like, we know where he wants to be, what he wants to achieve.
Yeah.
So I mean, I already like how it's progressing, honestly, like quite a bit. Like,
they caught you up with Giorno's backstory really nicely. I think it gave you enough about his whole flashback and about him being Japanese with black hair and his hair changed, and they caught you up really quickly, and the energy was really good out the gate. I think we wanted it to come back and really energized. I thought that was brilliant. Yeah. Yeah.
Episode 2, just seeing like his flashback and whatnot as well. It's pretty sad because when you think about it, it's like a kid living this type of lifestyle. You know what I mean? Like his mother doesn't care for him. She wants to go party and go to the clubs and whatnot, and he's at home, scared, and just like how he felt like the world hated him, and was just like the lowest human being and whatnot. And because he saved the gangster, he was able to live a different life. Like life got better for him.
Yeah,
that's a life lesson right there. Save a gangster, and maybe you'll live a better life.
Yeah, and I think because he's got obviously like DNA from both Dio and Jonathan, right? They can deal with this moral complexity, right? Like he's a criminal, right? But he's a good criminal.
But
so
he's also a good guy.
Yeah. Do you guys think that they took out Leaky-Eyed Luca too quick? I like that character in the first episode.
Really?
I thought they ended him too quick, man. Like he's gone.
He got me so mad with his dirty shovel,
honestly,
man. He was touching everyone with that shovel. I was like, God.
I'm glad he got wrecked.
I honestly didn't really care for him too much.
You did? I thought he was interesting.
I mean, I would agree with you that it was maybe too quick that they dealt with him, but I wasn't like. I mean, this man was just like a straight fiend to me. Well, I mean, that's nothing new with JoJo, but like,
I felt that he would have gone on to become one of the members, right? I assumed that he might have gone on.
Cool.
Yeah, because he was so distinctive, right? And he's got this little quirk, right, with the leaky eye, because he was punk, yeah. So I thought I would love him to be one of the guys, right? But I know we haven't been introduced yet. But he was so interesting. I thought I don't want them to do what part four did, which is introduce like the chef, right? And then we never really saw the guy again. Yeah. You know what I mean? Do something a little bit more with these interesting characters that populate like this.
That is true. I agree with you there. Honestly, with Leaky Luca, bro, like the one when the teardrop just started coming out, I was like, oh, he's so passionate. You know what I mean? Like he's empathizing with this dude. The next thing you know, we find out that his eye got messed up, like he got stabbed or something, was it? And because of that, like his eye he just tears for nothing. I was like, what the heck, yo? Bro? That took me off guard. And then he just started killing the dude. I was like, oh, there, this guy.
Have you guys been told anything about whether this part has like a mega villain or something? I don't know too much, but have you heard things? I haven't heard much. Yeah.
Well, I'm assuming there's like the gang boss, obviously, of Passion, but I mean that's really it, honestly.
Zypher, have you heard anything like from just overhearing things?
Sorry, repeat the question.
It's about this season's mega villain. You know, like Kira had part 4. Kira in part 4. Do you think does this season have like a mega villain, like a super villain? Like
yeah, I heard there's a major villain. I think I'm pretty sure it's the guy the boss of this.
Boss of Passion.
Yeah.
Passion.
That would be my guess, but that's literally it. That's all I haven't been told that. It's kind of me thinking like, oh, okay, this is Giorno's goal is to be like, take over pretty much essentially, and there obviously has to be like a big wig all the way at the top.
There has to be,
yeah.
I may be reaching.
The thing that's interesting, I forgot to mention this. The thing that they brought up is that they don't even know what the boss looks like, or they don't know his name.
No one does.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? That's kind of crazy because he has this they have like this chain of command, and nobody saw his face, and nobody like knows his name.
Is it like Kingpin where they don't say his name? They're told not to say his name.
Yeah, like Fisk. Yeah, I could agree with that.
Yeah.
Honestly, see the thing that I kind of like. Maybe I'm reaching here, but you know how part 3, like we knew our main villain was just Dio, and we had to just get Dio. Kind of like in this part, we kind of have it set that our main villain is, of course, the gang boss, but it's kind of mixed with part 4 to an extent. Because remember when Kira, like we knew Kira was like someone of importance, but we didn't really know his identity, kind of thing. So I feel like it's kind of both of them mixed because it's like we know who our main objective is, just like how we knew we had to get Dio. But in this sense, we know like our main villain. Yeah. Like we don't know his identity or anything of that sort, but we know who our main villain is.
Do you think I don't know if it's been said, you can correct me, but do we know if the main villain has stand power? Or is he just the boss of a crime? I think he has to, but
because if you think about it.
What if he does it? That'll be joke.
It would be so funny if they ended off like this. Like he doesn't have a stand power, and he's just like, since nobody knew his identity and whatnot because he didn't have a stand power. Oh my gosh,
that would be a great twist, though. I think that would be like what the fuck. Most crime films have this what the fuck moment, right? With the MC realizing something that he didn't know or didn't see, right? And like Carlito's Way or some shit like that. That would be interesting, I think, with the gangster vibe, that theme that's going on.
I definitely feel he has a stand, and I feel like it's gonna be really overpowered, honestly. Because from what I've been hearing, everyone's been telling me you can't like these stands here, like they're crazy. Because honestly, these stands have layers to them. You know what I mean? Just like with Giorno, he has this ability to reflect damage that he is that is brought to him. You would think that's his ability, but then again, the whole concept of his ability is bringing life. So then, where does reflecting damage come into effect? You know what I mean? And just like with Zipper Man, for example, or not Zipper Man, but you know what I mean.
Sticky fingers,
Sticky fingers, for example. How he can basically anywhere he wants, he can put a zipper there, anywhere. So it's like when you think about it, and if you look at that stand, like that's really a good stand for hunting people down, or like because you can literally get them anywhere. Unzip the door to their house.
Yeah, it reminded me of a better version of Okuyasu's power, where he would cut the space in between and bring them together, whereas zippers can literally like almost unzip a space in time or some shit like that and go anywhere and attach things like he was attaching his arms and stuff. It's like a more advanced,
You see, he even looks like Okuyasu's stand to me, honestly. Because I mentioned it, like they said, everyone told me it's the color scheme, but he looks like Okuyasu's stand to me for some reason. I guess it is the color scheme. So I really like the fact that you brought up with like the zippers and of course like opening space and time and whatnot in the zippers. It really reminds me of Okuyasu's stand. I love it.
Yeah. Even the opening, like the fight between Josuke and Okuyasu, it reminded me a lot of Giorno versus Bruno, right? And even Bruno turned out to be one of the good guys, right? Just like Okuyasu was antagonistic and he became kind of like chill afterwards.
How do you guys feel about Bruno as a character, though? Like, because, you know, JoJo is known for having those, like, great aid characters. Like, for example, think of Caesar from part 2.
Yeah, Zappelli, yeah.
Yeah.
Bruno's cool, dude.
All right.
Yeah, Bruno's cool.
Yeah, Bruno is right off the bat, like, I can tell, even though we've been 3 episodes in, I feel like if they were to kill him off, like, right now or something, I would be hurt. Like, it would hurt me.
Me too, because, yeah, the way they set him up, the way they're setting up his character, I mean, he is a gangster and shit, and he's ruthless, but he's also fucking, like, loyal, and he's actually a good guy at heart. You know what I mean? In his heart, he's a good fucking guy. He's not some asshole.
Exactly. And it's kind of like, if you look at it, it's like he's this good guy, but then again, he's still tied into these gang problems because of how messed up society is. If you look at it, the cops don't, and I really look at this like our society as well, like our world. It's so like realistic because cops, they don't help people like that, you know. And I'm not gonna, like, not all cops, of course, but you know, the police, like, they bat their eyes to the problems going on. Politicians, all they do is, you know, make politics and whatnot. No justice is really being done. I really love that.
I was wondering though. I want to ask you guys. This is something I always find weird. It's not just with JoJo, but you know, these guys are all hustling people, right? They're killing people, right? Like bumping people off. But drugs seems to be one thing that they're offended by, right? I've always found that weird, right? Like they'll do basically anything heinous, right, for their objectives, but somehow drugs are an affront to them. What do you guys think of that? Because Giorno was saying you're also another dude that doesn't like people shooting up and drugs on our street, right? But at the end of the day, these guys are peddling something, right? Or hustling people or stealing from people. What do you guys think of that?
Yeah. I mean, they have morals, but their morals are like kind of hypocritical in a way because they are gangsters, and I'm sure they do fucked up shit. But maybe the gangsters of this city, it's at a time to where they're not really, they're bad guys. They're kind of like the Robin Hoods of fucking of the city, you know what I mean? But like sometimes they have to take care of business when business needs to be taken care of, and that's why people kind of give them a bad idea or a bad rep and shit. But there has to be some weird shit going on if there's like heroin and shit being fucking sold on the streets and stuff. So
they got principle. You know, it's like one of these principle gangsters, right? Like there's a line that you can't cross, and I think that line's kind of being crossed.
That's what I honestly love, because it's like you brought up a good point, because these guys, they'll kill. They're willing to take someone's life, and they still, like, just like look at Giorno, for example. Even though we know like he's a good bad person because of, you know, Dio and Jonathan in his system, like when he helps those girls with their purse and then he takes a couple dollars, and it's like, why did you do that?
It's like, all right,
like, oh, I'm gonna help you, but I'll take it like $100 or $200. You know what I mean? Like, you know, with the kid with the ice cream, and you know, you see the sad kid, and he gives him ice cream. Then you're like, oh, you know, he's a nice guy. You know what I mean? So it's like you're watching, you're like, oh wow, this guy's messed up. Then you see the kid with ice cream, then you're like, oh, he's nice. He's not that bad.
Oh, he's a good guy.
I personally wasn't too kind of enamored with Josuke in last part, but this season I think, because that more, like you say, Ken, that moral complexity that this character has, I think this JoJo, this journal basically will be more morally complex than any of the characters we've had like in the previous parts, right? I mean, you know, Joseph was a gentleman, Jotaro was a stoic, Joseph was that cheeky rogue character. They all archetypes, but this guy I think might be the most morally complex character. That would be the most interesting thing.
I definitely, because the whole just yin and yang dynamic going on with him, it's interesting, because you see, it's gonna kind of have you wonder what is, you know, because it's like when you think about it, put him in certain scenarios and situations, and you're like, how will he react? You know what I mean? Will he handle things like Dio, ruthless, or will he handle things peacefully? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because Dio, and if you really look at it, Dio and Jonathan are completely different individuals. When you look at how they were raised in part 1, and you see how they hated each other, you know what I mean? It's so crazy that a kid is able to be born with like both of these people.
Yeah, these bloodlines basically fighting, like in the same body. You know, that's what I mean. It's like a metaphor almost for this character.
Giorno will be your favorite character towards the end of this part, and like also after part 4, who is your favorite JoJo as of now?
What was that? I didn't listen right there. Sorry, dude. I was looking at a tweet.
You say, what's your favorite part so far after the end of part 4? And do you think this Giorno will be your favorite character once you're done with the series?
Yes, I think Giorno will definitely be my favorite character because the main JoJo always always hits my heart for some reason more than any other character, and I like Dio a lot too. So now he's part JoJo and Dio. I'm like, oh, okay, so this is interesting. I like this motherfucker, and I like the complexity in his brain. You know what I mean? Like he's morally sound and right, but he also does fucked up shit, kind of. So I like to see how he's gonna progress in this part 5. I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, I mean, like to what you're saying, Ken. Like I said before, like I think if he's as morally complex as I think he's gonna be, he could easily be one of my favorite characters in this season. But up until part 4, I really like Jotaro. I got to understand that character towards the end of part 3. But Jotaro sticks out to me as one of my favorite JoJo's. Zypher was actually bringing it up before, but I think I'm sure people want it. Yeah. Zypher was bringing up before, but I'm sure people want to know like what your thoughts are about the opening and the ending. To see the ending and the new first opening. So, what's your thoughts, Ken, about the opening and the ending? Because I know what people want to know what you think.
Okay, first opening, beautiful, beautiful opening. Have you seen the visuals?
Have you seen Blaze?
Amazing.
Or are you avoiding it? Yeah. Some people have been avoiding it because they don't want to see spoilers for the upcoming stuff. I've seen it.
Nah, I don't avoid it. I've watched everything. I don't care.
Yes,
it's beautiful.
You can watch it. I was told, like, you know, like they said it's safe, but the only thing that is spoiled is like, honestly, it's like I watched it, but it's, you see Stan users, you know what I mean, the future ones, and you see a bit of their ability. So if you don't want to see that, I say don't watch it, honestly, because that is kind of, if you knew their ability, because even when I was watching it, although I knew it wasn't like a major spoiler, I was still like, you know what? If only I didn't know this person's ability like that, you know what I mean? I would kind of have more food for thought, if that makes sense.
I always make this mistake, but when you saw the intro, did you mistake one of the characters for a female? Because everyone keeps giving me shit about the trap character, right? The one of the future characters that it actually looks like a chick, but it's actually a dude. Because they're all dudes, I think.
Does he have long hair?
Yeah, he wears like a bandana with hair sticking out of it, and he's probably the least, well, underdressed, right? They're probably the least dressed of the cast. But I immediately thought it was a chick, right? Which is weird because all this group, the Stardust Crusaders, were all dudes as well, right? So you just assume that they'd introduce like a female character in this ensemble cast, right? But then it turns out it's actually a dude, which is interesting. So I made that mistake. But I like the music. The visuals are great. What about the ending? The choice of ending. Everyone's getting horny all the time. That annoyed me, the whole horny meme going on. But what do you guys think?
Honestly,
I kind of agree with one of the guys in the comments. He said that it kind of ruins the tension almost.
No,
in a way.
You see, I actually have like my own spin on that, and I definitely could agree with you saying it ruins the tension, because it's like, imagine watching the JoJo episode and someone gets killed and shit, and then you're crying. You're so emotional. Then you hear,
I'm so horny.
Like what? I'm like, what? Are you kidding me right now? Have sympathy.
Yeah. Is there a particular reason they picked that particular song? Everyone's got their own theory, right? Like Araki listens to KC JoJo to see all this stuff. But
yeah, I have actually my own thought for that too. Because if you think about it, if you look at how Giorno is dressed and whatnot, I mentioned this before. Golden Experience is actually a Prince album. I don't know if you guys listen to Prince here.
No,
I love the way they dress, dude. They're fucking. I like their outfits, bro.
Yes, their outfits are straight up like what Prince wears. Like the outfits that that are, you know, we've seen right here is
it's like hella 80s
exactly.
Fucking, it's beautiful. I like the 80s. I like it, man. I dig it.
Yeah.
And mood of Prince in like the 80s as well. So I kind of feel like even though it does ruin like the immersion, for example, you end off a crazy episode, then you hear the ending tune. I still feel it kind of meshes with the overall theme of this season. That's why I was like, I didn't really have a problem with it, because I'm like, oh, this is going for the 80s. You know, of course, Golden Experience, Prince and whatnot. So it's like I definitely understood it.
Yeah. Do you know why? Like, do you guys ever question why the characters in JoJo go from more masculine to more feminine? I like their designs. I've always liked the designs. But is there a particular reason you guys think that we went from the muscly dude gentleman to to the more effeminate, more slick, more elegant looking character designs. Do you have a question?
Because I think there's a lot of people like that too. A lot of people like the big muscular dudes too, but a lot of people like the thin, athletic, slick, fast type characters as well. And I'm sure there's gonna be some muscular dudes in this shit, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I dig it both.
Honestly, how I look at it is, if you think about it, when JoJo first aired, it was kind of like in the time period where, not like the time period, but like if you see where part 1 was handled, it was like really, really like what, the 1800s was it not? Back then, I feel like it was all about brute force and muscle and whatnot. And while it's progressing on to part 2, part 3, part 4, it's not about that anymore. It's kind of like our generation. Do you see that many buff people? You don't really see that many buff people.
You don't,
Of course, you have the muscle heads, but mostly everyone is thin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I kind of think that may be into effect, or maybe not. I don't know. It's a reach.
Yeah. I mean, I'm personally down with it because the transition was so well, right? It's not like it happened suddenly, right? Over time, it became like that. It's not like 1 minute your MC's like muscly dude like Kenishiro, right? And then the next season, it's like, oh, he's like a skinny dude. You know what I mean? Like the transition was really good, yeah.
Honestly, one thing that I've always been thinking about, of course we had our female characters in JoJo, but I always thought like, will we ever get a female main character? Because of course we had Lisa in JoJo, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
There's a difference between a female side character and a female main character. Like those are two completely different things. So I always had that thought, but at the way things are going, I don't even think of that. So I think it's just gonna be like Giorno or whatnot, and of course whoever comes up next, Jose maybe.
Yeah, like part 12 or something. I don't know how many parts there are, but maybe like in a later part.
Yeah.
Do you guys think? Do you guys think that they'll introduce some of the new characters by the end of tomorrow's episode, or you think that'll be next week?
That's actually a good point. Honestly, where do you guys think tomorrow's episode is going to go? Because if you think about it, the episode basically ends off with like Popo's like
stand. Yeah, I think so. It depends on how they adapt it, right? They don't necessarily have to adapt it 1-to-1, and some people might complain, but if it helps like introduce these characters quicker, because look how energetic it was out the gate, right?
Yeah,
I'd hope they'd introduce him personally, because I feel like Luca got introduced and got killed off.
Yeah,
and then pretty fast. Yeah.
Honestly, what do you guys think about how Giorno handled the situation with Popo? Like, there's a few things I kind of disagreed with what he did. You know how he didn't show like he was a stand user? I mean, of course it's smart, but I feel like if he showed he was a stand user and showed like he's a trustworthy person, I feel like Popo would have accepted him easier. What do you guys think of that?
I mean, he can't blow his cover, right? We know he needs to go undercover, right? So he can blow this thing open. I'm not entirely sure. I'll have to wait till tomorrow, see how it plays out, right? It's easy to assume we know where it's gonna go, right? Like it's gonna go well for Giorno. Giorno's gonna get out of it, but I don't know. I don't know what to think about Popo yet. I haven't seen enough of him.
Mm-hmm. So you don't trust him yet?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to feel. Because he's such a larger-than-life character, right? And he puts him through this test, and now Giorno's gonna have to kind of wiggle his way out of this test.
He's gonna put him through the ringer right now, dude. He's gonna fight him.
Yeah.
Yeah, because see, it's like I felt like the whole situation, just like when the light came off, like the lighter. I feel like if he just went and told them, like, "Hey, the lighter came off," and I feel like he would have understood because that's trustworthy. He came to you and told you rather than cheating or anything of that sort.
Yeah,
but.
Man. The way Popo's stand works is that he can use it at distance. Like he doesn't seem to have a distance disadvantage. You know what I mean? Like he's stuck in prison, and his stand is out there. And they dealt with that in part 4, right? With the feet one. Who's that guy who was stuck in hospital and his stand was basically chasing after people?
Where highways? Wait, Star Getaway. Wait, what was it? Highway Star.
Yeah. Like it was like that. Like so, it's a distance stand, right? So that's the most interesting thing because he can just screw someone over. Like he can basically assassinate people himself, right? Like from inside prison. So that's a pretty gangster thing to do, I think. I wonder how that will work though. The distance Popo has from his stand. But someone in the chat can kind of correct me if I'm wrong about his stand. I don't know much, to be honest.
But then again, we don't know if he really is
Highway Go-Go.
it was told
Cool.
that he can leave prison whenever he likes. So he could. Who knows if he's following Giorno around?
Oh, he can leave him. He can leave prison. Okay.
Yeah, it was said that he can leave.
Oh yeah. It's
Whenever he
more
wants.
Yeah, it's more convenient for him to be there, though. I guess, right? Yeah. Okay.
Because if you look at his body, he's so massive. So anyone could take him out if they wanted to. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So do you think he's following them, tailing him, and is he actually nearby, and he's gonna like get into it, like once?
He's watching him. He's watching him, dude. Like a hawk.
The guy's fucking huge. Like, how is he gonna hide?
But as you could see in the episode when we first met him, he couldn't even find him at first. He's a fucking bed. That guy's probably like a wall in a building or something.
Yeah,
watching.
Like a bench in the park. Oh,
yeah, you
man.
can blend in anyway. Yeah, it's actually interesting, this part, how many people will have stand powers and how open it is. You know what I mean? Stands were meant to be like a secret from people, because I don't think everyone can see them. Well, and people who don't have stand powers can really detect them or aren't drawn to each other. But like, this whole town seems to be like, it's populated with people full of stands, and it's like giving like a toddler a power, like a knife or something almost. Like any guy now, after the arrow shit, can have it. Like a dog can have a stand, a falcon can have a stand.
Well,
right?
I think some people have to be like, with the arrow and shit, don't they have to be like kind of like a chosen one?
Yeah,
if they don't, they die. But
Yeah.
if they have potential, then they'll come back alive with the stand.
Yeah,
So not everyone's gonna get one.
yeah,
So,
and
that goes back to what I was saying, right? Because if the test has to do with the arrow, right?
yeah,
And Giorno is a stand user. If he had just told Popo, I am a stand user, or like presented to Popo, he's a stand user, wouldn't this have all been skipped if the test is to make you a stand user if you can survive?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, he probably
Hey,
creates
bro,
his own lands.
I can
His
already
own-
do this shit.
Yeah, that's how I
Yeah.
was looking at it. You know what I
Yeah.
really love though? If you look at like how Giorno handled the situation, right?
Yeah.
Remember how he leaves the jail cell and he has to hide the slider to escape.
Yeah,
If you look at it like in a gangster's perspective, like it's so like it's really funny, right? Because
yeah,
if you're gonna be a gangster, you should be able to get products out of the jail without problems. You know what I mean? Or like out of a situation without having issues. So it's like
Yeah.
ever since he left Popo's place, Giorno showed signs of joining the gang, like being a gangster, like just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
when people
Yeah, just
were
like
asking
getting
him for
out.
help.
yeah,
And he was just focusing on his task rather than helping them, and how he
Yeah.
managed to sneak the product, basically the lighter, out of the jail. I really
Yeah.
thought that was interesting.
A lot of people were mentioning, because I mentioned that he turned it into a flower, but how is it that the fire didn't go out when the whole
Exactly.
thing changed? But people said that in the manga, apparently the flames were there, they were just covered by the petals. But in the anime, it wasn't as obvious seeing that, which kind of makes sense now, to be honest. Like, you can mask, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's a stretch, but you kind of go with it, like suspend your disbelief for like a show
Mhm.
like JoJo. It doesn't really go into science, right? These are stands and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine the cop was a dick and she was just like, throw the flower in the garbage or something. Could you imagine, like, she didn't let him get away with the flower? Like, throw it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god, that would
But
have
it's
been so bad.
It's interesting, the Master Blazer. You were saying that this JoJo might beat Hunter x Hunter for you, right? The anime. You think he has the potential to, or has already?
It definitely does. I mean, there's how many parts in the manga right now?
I believe 7,
8
right?
parts. 8 is ongoing right now, apparently.
Oh,
All right,
wow.
so we got
Still
5, 6, 7. Yeah, 5, 6, and 7 to be animated so far.
Yeah.
I mean, after this, so definitely it has the potential to take that spot for sure. Because I mean, part 1, part 2 was amazing to me. I loved it. Caesar, like, I love that shit. Joseph.
Yeah.
But part 3, that's when it really fucking hit my soul, and I was like, bro, this shit is real as fuck. And then part 4 is really, really, really good too, and I enjoyed it a lot. But yeah, man, it definitely has a potential for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's contending with that Chimera Ant arc as well, man. That was a big, big, big arc, man. Like, you could contend.
That arc
What
dirt on
would
my
I-
soul, dude.
Yeah. I love that arc as well.
Would you
Fucking-
say that?
Fucking kite, man.
Yeah, legend, man. Would you say that JoJo will only beat Hunter x Hunter for you though, only because the fact that Hunter x Hunter isn't being published as much? Because you see, the thing is, JoJo has content for ages. You know what I mean? But Hunter x Hunter
Exactly. If
goes on
Hunter
these
x Hunter had the
hiatuses.
content, Yeah, if Hunter x Hunter definitely had like 100+ chapters that they could like make another anime part out of, like there's no way it would probably beat it. But who knows, man? Who knows? Someday Hunter x Hunter might come back.
Honestly, JoJo is my number 2 favorite anime of all time. Yeah.
Number 2, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think Part 7 will put it over? If they,
It's like number 2 or number 3 for me.
Yeah, I mean, if they adapted Part 7,
because I still like.
Sorry, go on.
I still like Yu Yu Hakusho a lot, like a lot. So I don't know.
I like Yu Yu Hakusho. I still prefer Hunter though. I literally just finished Yu Yu Hakusho, and I thought Togashi was it improved a lot of his craft from Yu Yu Hakusho. I think Yu Yu Hakusho had a similar kind of chemistry that maybe like the Stardust Crusaders had for JoJo. So I probably want to compare Yu Yu Hakusho more to a JoJo than I would Hunter to a Yu Yu Hakusho. I think personally, but
Yu Yu Hakusho
true.
surpasses
Yeah, you're right.
Hunter x Hunter for you guys, or vice versa?
No. Hunter x Hunter for me is number 1, and then 2 is Yu Yu Hakusho.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, same.
I haven't seen Yu Yu Hakusho. I've seen Hunter x Hunter though.
I think you'll enjoy Hakusho. Yeah.
Like what? The second arc is like the Dark Tournament, or like is that the third?
Third. I think.
Anyways, it happens pretty fast, so you'll get really hooked on that Dark Tournament arc, man. That shit is fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'll definitely check it out. Yeah, but just like.
I mean, you don't have to react to it or nothing. Just like watch the shit to enjoy it, dude. You'll fucking enjoy it so much more.
Yeah.
I mean, because it is like from the fucking like early 90s.
Yeah.
That's when anime was good to me, honestly.
Good,
yeah. Look at GTO, for example. Great Teacher Onizuka.
Cowboy Bebop. It was 97, I think 98, 97, something like that.
90s
Bebop.
is that time, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, 90s were lit.
Yeah.
Yeah, JoJo. JoJo was like what? Didn't they have some stuff that aired back then or something? Like maybe 2000?
Yeah, I think they do.
Yeah, they have some old JoJo's stuff. I never watched it, but I know they have something.
And the manga's been around as long as Dragon Ball, like this Dragon Ball Z manga, right? So it's like it's like an OG.
The Dragon Ball anime was in the 80s. That was lit.
Yeah.
So what would you rate the start of part 5 so far?
I mean, it's right there with all the other parts. Part 3, part 4, like this shit is fire, bro. To be honest, the pacing might even be a little bit better.
Yeah,
I agree. But then again, part 4 started really strong. I don't know what you guys' thoughts are on part 4, right? I thought part 4 was
amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing.
It was inconsistent in some parts. Like there was some fights and some scenarios that I didn't really care about. Like that one guy with the alien that I thought was an alien. Like I didn't really care about that fucker.
Yeah.
But he was cool. Like I mean, I enjoyed it, and the pacing in that was pretty cool too. So I enjoyed part 4 a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think part 4 threw us straight into it, right? Didn't we met what was that dude's name again? Angelo was it? I don't remember.
The one who folds the paper, or was the other guy?
The one that they made the statue of. The evil, the killer, the serial killer, Angelo.
Yeah.
Yeah, we met.
I think it was Angelo. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we see Josuke's ability. So it's similar to an extent, because you see, part 5 we also jump right into it, and we learn with Luca, and then we learn, of course, Giorno's ability. Yeah.
There was actually one thing I want to ask you guys, because I don't know if all of you guys have seen the Rohan OVAs, but the Rohan OVAs has a distinctive art style, right? It is still slightly different from part 4. Did you guys want to see more of that art style used? Because I know there's no excuse to use it now that part 5's come. But I wanted to see more of this art style they use in the Rohan OVAs. That actual look was really elegant and slick, I think. But it's a shame that we
remember if I watched those, dude. I'm trying to remember.
There's 2 of them so far, two OVAs.
You should definitely.
I don't think I did.
Yeah, you should check them out because they've got a really slick looking art style. I think really distinctive, even between part 4 and 5. It's a good transition, right, to this part.
They say in the comments that the Rohan OVAs are in the style of part 7 and part 8.
Part 7 and part 8, yeah. See, that's why, man. So we got a little taster of what part 7 and part 8 might look like. Then that's actually pretty dope, I think.
Interesting.
You got it.
So
yeah,
it kind of raises the question, right? So if it's the style of part 7 and part 8, does that mean that the Rohan OVAs are happening same time? Is that what's supposed to be happening? That's kind of interesting when you think about it.
Chronologically, I'd imagine, yeah.
Yeah,
They
right.
would take place between, right? Yeah.
Because it wouldn't make sense to change the art style from do the OVAs, then go to part 5 and whatnot, and then part 6, then go back to that art style. Would it? Or I don't know.
Yeah, maybe because they knew it was OVAs and it wasn't like a television broadcast or anything, so they could kind of get away with doing it like that, I think. So they don't expect everyone to see it, and it's clear right now that not everyone's seen it. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, like some parts like switch like styles. I mean, like Dragon Ball. Think about it. Like it changed its style of like the character drawings and everything for a lot.
Yeah.
In movies and in some arcs and some shit like that. So it's not really that big of a deal. I think it's cool.
Yeah. I mean, the art style is always appealing. Like for JoJo, I don't think I could ever dislike a art style. In fact, it's a good thing. You know what I mean? If you stick around with the same art style,
yeah,
it can kind of get old hat sometimes. Yeah.
Dull. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But you know, 3 episodes in, man, I'm happy with part 5. I just hope it maintains consistency because 39 episodes is pretty long for a short show, right? 24 is the average. 39 is actually on the large side when you think about it. So I hope it maintains
larger side.
Yeah, I hope it maintains the consistency.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I honestly like.
I mean, I like it.
Yeah. It's impossible though not to like it though. You know what I mean? Like you get caught up in the hype. Like,
exactly.
You're so happy about it. Like
yeah. It's the universe, man. The universe, the JoJo universe. It gets you hyped. It gets you excited. You want to like, oh man, I can't wait till next Friday. Oh, I can't wait till next Friday.
Yeah.
It's like fuck, man.
What do you think it is that stops JoJo coming into the conversation with the bigger shows like One Piece, My Hero Academia?
Because it's not kid friendly. Kid friendly.
Is it not? I'd say
no, it's not.
The other shows can be pretty dark as well.
I mean, they can. They definitely deal with real situations like the One Pieces and Naruto's. They deal with like some serious shit, but they're not dealing with like psychopath serial killers who fucking cut off like people's heads and hands and fucking kill children and all this weird things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like so.
Yeah,
it's definitely a lot darker. It's for the more mature anime watcher for sure, and that's why it's not in the category of being the best.
Yeah, they do censor it though for TV though. I've noticed though, even this part, there's always that black shade.
Yeah, they do censor it.
Yeah,
the black shade. I remember in part 3 there was, maybe it might have been part 4 or part 3. There was this one scene, and basically the whole screen was like covered up in shade, and I was like, oh my god. I was like, look at this, I can't see nothing. I was like, there must have been some horrible shit going on right there.
I think that was part 3.
Yeah, part 4 was that dog that walks around with its throat slit, right? They had black shading on it because they didn't show it.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember that too.
And then there was a weird episode where Jotaro was fighting a rat that has a stand, and there's a cube of meat that got censored because it had hands coming out of it. It was like some weird.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's saying part 5 is arguably the darkest part. Part 5 is Mexican cartel levels of brutal.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard like it's very violent, and there's one thing is like don't get too attached because like when these fights happen, people die. Like don't get too attached. Something along those lines. Like
I'm kind of used to that though with like JoJo, but this one might be extreme. It might be in the extreme part.
Yeah, I can imagine it, man. Like bringing back that part 3 magic, man. Like that would be hard, man, to deal with if you get invested.
That's kind of different though. We love those characters. We were on a mission with those characters. We were a part of that journey, man.
Oh man, it still hurts just thinking about what happened to them, yo.
For
real.
Iggy was bad.
It's like you start with 6 characters and then you end off with Paul Natif. Not no hate to Paul Natif. Like I love Paul Natif, but it's like, yo, really? This is who we end up with? Like you know what I mean? But like it really hurt. Do you think I really love?
The danger levels were so high in part 3, bro. So high.
What did you guys think about the Oingo Boingo brothers? Oh my gosh, I love them.
I love
them to death, man.
Yeah.
It sucks when they add characters that are so good like that, and it's like you can never see them again. Like we will never see the Oingo Boingo brothers again. It really sucks to me.
Yeah.
They were so
There's some characters and stand users that I'm like, man, I wish I could see them again, or like I wish we could get more into them.
Yeah,
like
Vanilla Ice. I like Vanilla Ice.
Oh, I hate Vanilla Ice.
But I wanted to see more of him, right? He was like a minion, more of a vampire minion of Dios, right? But yeah, like I said, Yeah, I wish I would see more Kakuin. I thought Kakuin was the least favorite for me for the Stardust Crusaders. Avdol didn't get much. He got bumped off quite quickly, even though he was a big part of the show. Do you guys think that Koichi is the new Polnareff of JoJo? They pushed Polnareff a lot in part 3, and now they're pushing Koichi a lot, not only in last part, but actually this part as well. You think they're pushing him really hard right now, Koichi?
That's actually a good point. Yeah,
I feel like I saw too much of the guy. I love the guy. I love the little guy, but I swear I see too much of him.
Yeah, Koichi, he's really throughout like the latest parts of everything we've seen, even the OVAs.
Yeah,
he's like in there a lot. So yeah, they really are pushing Koichi like a lot.
Yeah. Not that I'm complaining. I think he's got the most interesting stand because it evolves, right? And it's almost like a play on Cell, right, from Dragon Ball, like a reference. But maybe it would have been nice to see some of the other guys. I wish Okuyasu had maybe a bit more of a role, but obviously he's still a kid, right? And all these guys technically could be sent around the world now, whenever Jotaro says, right, to do this or do that, or find more stand users. But it's Koichi they picked. They settled on him for some reason. So
honestly, I feel like, could you imagine they sent Josuke here to deal with Giorno? Could you imagine Josuke and Giorno fighting each other? Oh my gosh.
This is a complex family tree, man. Like, even I'm losing track of who's related to who and who's this guy's uncle, second cousin, this. And I'm like, that would be good, though. Yeah.
Honestly, though, like, you see what do you feel like is going to happen to these characters here? Do you feel like, the main cast we're going to get this season, they're going to surpass the cast of part 3 and part 4, like, as of learning more about them and getting to, getting to understand them more?
Maybe, but not like Jotaro and shit, for sure, no. Because we've had so much
adventure,
we've had so much with Jotaro. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's no way they could, I don't think there's any way they could surpass, like, the emotions and the relationship we built with the part 3 cast. The part 3 cast was almost special in a way. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the nostalgic vibe as well it had to it.
Part 3, yeah. Do you know what's the weird thing about part 3 is it's weird to use the word nostalgic when you literally just come off it, like in the last year or two. But there's something about part 3 that makes it feel like shit, man. Like, I ain't gonna see these guys again. It's like I've known these guys for 20 years or some shit. Like, I never felt that with any other part. I never felt that nostalgic, even though I literally just came off the show. And people waiting in real time, I can't imagine how nostalgic they are for part 3. Part 3 actually improves for me the more time away I have from it. I didn't actually enjoy first season as much as the second season of Stardust Crusaders, but once I finished it, I actually look back on that and I think that was a damn good show, man. That part was yeah.
Yeah, you see, like the thing with part 3, like from what everyone says, it's like a hit or miss kind of part, because it's like you either like it or you don't like it. Like people don't like how it is, like all these continuous stand battles. You meet these stand users and it's like no dynamic to them. You just meet them, you kick their butt, they leave, and next episode someone new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a weird thing about this part right now is a lot of people were actually hating on it from the manga side because apparently they were reading scans that were badly translated. So apparently there's a huge group of the community that really went in hating parts 5 because of bad scans they were reading, which is weird because I think for us going in, we all heard that this part's gonna be amazing, which is good, right? But no one has actually had anything bad to say about this season. Everyone always shits on part 1. People say, 2's over. Some people say 2's overrated. Some people say 3 was just like overhyped, like FF7. But no one said anything bad about this part 5, even after all that manga scan stuff problems, right? Which is really good. Yeah, really exciting.
I've heard nothing but good shit about part 5, to be honest.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah, I hear like a lot of good stuff from part 5. Like, everyone keeps telling me this is going to be my favorite part. And it's like, I don't know. Like, when you hear stuff like that, it really makes you even more hyped. Like, you're like, I can't wait to see these episodes. And especially, is it just me, though? Or, like, it takes, like, 2 weeks for Friday to come. Like, that's how it feels.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
It's like, when is Friday going to come? I want to watch some JoJo. And then it's like...
Exactly.
Thursday hits and you're like, oh my... Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like a kid, guys, on Thursday. Like, I'm so hyped. Just jumping up and down.
But let it sink in, Ken.
Before Christmas.
Yeah, we got 36 more weeks of JoJo. Like, let that sink in. Like, we got a lot to look forward to. 36 more weeks of JoJo.
Quick thing I wanna bring
yeah.
up, right? Did you guys see the list for the 2019 spring anime?
No, I have
No.
not.
All right,
I don't
so
keep
let me
up with
tell you-
lists.
Let me tell you the lineup real fast. This is gonna be crazy. So we have One Punch Man, Boku no Hero Academia, Attack on Titan, and then supposedly JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is still supposed to be airing in the spring.
Hmm.
Do you think, bro? That list is insane. That is
Yeah.
insane. And like
That is pretty insane.
like honestly, I feel like that's, if you could say, like, that's one of the best seasons to start off in 2019 for anime.
Yeah. Hope it doesn't get overshadowed though. JoJo doesn't get overshadowed by OPM and MHA, because it's likely to get overshadowed by that. That always happens.
It probably will, because it's been such an anticipated anime. One Punch Man season 2 is like, yo, where's it at? Where's it at? Delay,
Yeah.
delay. Finally out. You know what I mean?
And I heard it was
Like,
supposed to come out
Jesus.
2020, like 2021. So I was like, if they
Yeah.
do that, they're not gonna. It's gonna be like the whole Attack on Titan scenario. Because Attack on Titan, they took all these years to bring us a second season, and their fan base, you know, even though like people still love it, it was like kind of tarnished to an extent. It wasn't the
Yeah.
same. So I'm happy, man. Like
Yeah.
I'm happy.
Have
I
you
don't-
guys had good experiences with the One Punch Man community, Blaze or Ken? Like, good experiences with the community in general?
Honestly,
I've had good experience with the community.
Have you guys? You guys
But-
reacted to all of it, right?
Yeah,
It's
first
always the
season-
casual fans, dude. The ones that are,
Yeah.
the first season I reacted to as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's always the casual fans that like kind of like give me the shit like, oh, where's the anime? I want to watch the anime. I want to watch the anime. But like the more hardcore fans, the ones who've already watched the episode on like Crunchyroll or like fucking downloading it or whatever, they're the ones that like are cool as hell, and I've always been cool. So yeah, I've had mixed emotions with every community almost.
Yeah. What about you, Ken? How was it for you with the One Punch Man community?
I never really reacted. I watched the first episode of One Punch Man, and off of it, like a lot of, there was a lot of love. But at the time, I was focusing more on school. So like, I'm not gonna let that happen this time around. Like, school take over reactions and whatnot. But I was focusing in school, so I didn't do reactions. I said, you know what, I can't do this.
Yeah.
But I watched all the greatness, and it's like One Punch. I hear people say Mob Psycho is their favorite, but I like One Punch Man way more than Mob Psycho. I know it's kind of like, a controversial topic, but I like One Punch Man way more than Mob Psycho.
Yeah. But of all of them, JoJo comes out top, right? Between One Punch Man,
JoJo is, honestly, like, I've never seen an anime. You see, like, also with Hunter x Hunter. Hunter x Hunter was my number 2. But see, it goes back to the point that Hunter x Hunter doesn't have enough content to keep going. Like, it has the quality. It has the quality. But I guess when you think about it like this, quality takes time, to just keep having it. Like, if you want quality, you can't have the content. Because then it's like, it's going to be hard to keep producing great quality. With JoJo has quality, but then it's like it keeps going. You know what I mean? I keep watching the way it happened from part 3, then to part 4. And it's like, oh my gosh, I'm like bringing up the fact that it feels like when you're watching part 3, you're on the journey, Like, it's insane, honestly.
Yeah. Where does FMAB sit for you between Hunter x Hunter and JoJo? Or where would you position that amongst FMAB and JoJo, Ken?
Ooh. You see the it's gonna honestly, I don't know how to say this, right? Because if you look at it like this, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, I know I'm about to finish it, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, I feel like JoJo is gonna be above it, but it's gonna be hard to adjust the list with Hunter x Hunter and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Like, I'm really gonna have to rewatch both series and see the moments and how it affects me, because it's like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood really started hitting me hard, man. Like, it really just started. I regret, like, how I was taking those hiatuses.
Sorry, Blaze.
That Brotherhood is so deep.
Yeah,
it
like,
is.
I was taking all these hiatuses at the time, and it's like I regret it, because it's like if I kept pushing, it would have been more, impactful, rather than taking breaks and whatnot.
But it's the same way Blaze was describing JoJo, right? It's not for the kiddies, right? It's a little bit more depth to it, a little bit darker with the themes, right, that it deals with. FMAB is kind of like that. So it's similar in JoJo in that respect, where you can't watch it passively. It's not just like hype. fights. There's a little bit more to FMAB as well. So it's hard to do it. Hunter x Hunter is interesting because it's a shonen. We all know it's a shonen, but Chimera Anarch came along and it was like threw that out the window. Like the kind of shit it dealt with, right? With the moral complexity of the Meruem ant situation and the human situation. It's difficult, man, placing them. But for me, definitely with like Blaze, Hunter x Hunter is like up there for me, and JoJo's up there for me. And
to be honest, I really like what's going on with the Dark Continent. This whole fucking cruise ship arc, man. This shit's kind of fucking nuts, man.
I'm getting into manga. I'm definitely pushing Hunter x Hunter manga reactions. Definitely.
How much chapters are there since the anime ended? How many chapters are there?
I don't know exactly, but the chapter we're on now, I think is the new one that's coming out tonight, is like 386.
386. Wow, that's so close to me. Like that's like I think 30 chapters from me or something like that. They really don't publish because it's been like a year since I had I haven't read the manga.
Yeah, for like 3 years, I went for like 10 chapters, and then he took like a 6-month or 7-month hiatus, and then 10 chapters, another hiatus, 10 chapters, and then here we are.
You think we'll get ever get an anime again?
I don't think so, honestly.
If he pushes it, man, especially if he finishes the series, if he ends it like in a year, 2 or 3, then we'll definitely get an anime for sure, I think.
If it goes if he pushes, I feel like right now, if it's going at this pace, I don't feel like there'll be another anime, but.
Oh wow!
Yeah, if it's going at this pace, for sure it won't have another anime. But if it if Togashi is more consistent, like I think he really wants to be, because I mean he said that in the next like 5 chapters it's gonna be like some of the like most emotional and like crazy shit that people have seen. Like if he keeps like pushing shit and is consistent and he gets the reaction from the people that he wants, maybe, man, we'll see if he can pull it off.
Didn't he also say that he's open to someone taking drawing duties while he writes, like as well, like to get it finished? Because I know he's doing a lot of writing.
I think
because he can't. Yeah,
he's doing both. He's writing and drawing. I think that takes a lot of time off of him.
Yeah, but obviously for him, drawing's harder because of what he's going through, right? So he tends to, like you say, there's a lot of writing, a lot of exposition on the page, right, rather than like artwork that requires a lot of his time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that takes a lot of time, and I think that takes a lot of pain from him too, for sure, is the drawing, the detail. He can't just like put together the little stick figures like he was doing on some volumes back in the day. But I think if he had help, I think he might even be getting help right now. I think it would definitely like help him a lot.
Yeah. No, I'm personally like fond of Hunter. I really want to see that come back. More than anything, I want to see Hunter again. I kind of burned out of stuff like Naruto, One Piece. I haven't watched My Hero Academia yet, but one thing is Hunter coming back. Yeah. You know me, man. I'm slightly rough when it comes to my opinions, like little tinge of negativity, right? But I still want to save My Hero Academia for a rainy day. But in the meantime, I would just want to watch other stuff that maybe I might miss out on. But Hunter, I really want that to come back. I think that would be the one most of all the shonens out there that I'd want to see another kind of season 2.
Do you feel like pretty cool. The fan base has died down, or do you feel like if Hunter x Hunter comes back, regardless, the fan base will still be there?
Oh, they'll be there, man. They're rabid. They're foaming at the mouth, man. Like that's how it is. Like the manga guys, and once the anime comes, they'll be kind of mixed into the anime crowd, and then that'll bolster it, and there'll be a lot of hype. I think. I personally want it. Some people are saying that they're happy the way the anime ended. For them, Hunter x Hunter, as far as they're concerned, ended with Jing and Gon meeting each other and talking about the world, bigger world out there. But a lot of people are like, you know what, like you saying, Blaze, the Dark Continent arc and all this cruise ship stuff, this getting hyped on my timeline. It's hard for me to ignore it, man. Like all the stuff that's
it is hype, bro. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. There's like a lot of dialogue right now. I mean, a lot of dialogue, a lot going on, and it kind of like it is a turn off in a way because you have to read so much. It's like reading a fucking novel at some points, but it's decent, man. There's some crazy shit going on, especially the last like 2 chapters. There's some real crazy shit going on, and yeah, man, it's exciting. I think it's gonna get even more exciting and more exciting, especially once they land on the Dark Continent. That's when the real shit's gonna fucking kick off. So yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah.
Agreed. From what I've seen in Hunter x Hunter, like from the manga, I love it. So yeah, and like speaking of part 5, man, I can't wait for tomorrow. Like,
Yeah.
yo,
Yeah. Fridays is such a good day for JoJo. Like it's not even like a joke. It's such a good day for that particular show to come out, man. Like end of the week, right? You had a hard week. You just want to chill, watch something, right? And JoJo is the best thing. I can't even think of any other anime that could fit that slot and that kind of need that's there, right? Yeah.
Yeah, like it just fits it so perfectly. And the thing that sucks when I watch JoJo, and as soon as I put the episode on, I'm sad because I'm like, oh, as soon as this episode's over, I gotta wait another week, yo. Like it's so crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you start tweeting.
I hate waiting weeks, man. It's like holy shit, dude. Especially after like the last episode. And JoJo is fucking good at this, man. It is good at ending at a goddamn cliffhanger, and you're like, oh my god, I need to watch the next episode. I need it now.
Exactly.
It's my thing, and I want it now.
It's a hard wait, but as long as it's ongoing for a few weeks, I mean the 36 weeks, I'm happy, man. Like knowing that it's there at the end of the week, knowing you can look after it, even if it's delayed is fine. Like the next week might be tough, man. At the end of that week, you just have it, man. I think that's brilliant. I think the fact that it sticks around for so long, even if it takes a while to come back, it sticks around and you love it. So
yeah. What are your expectations for the next episode?
I'm expecting some shit to go down, bro. I think it's going to be a little bit more of a real test. He's going to be like, I think he's going to figure out he's a stand user, and then he's going to be like, okay, so let's really test you. And we might get to see a little stand-on-stand fight, and then probably homeboy Penguin. I want to keep calling him Penguin, bro, because he looks like Penguin from Batman.
He does. Yeah, he does look like Penguin, yeah.
You know, people actually say he looks like Shigechi.
I think he's...
He looks like?
Oh,
Shigechi?
like an older version.
Yeah, like I was like, what the heck?
Yeah. He's got the protruding things from his head as well. Those little beads sticking out of his head. I like Shigechi though. I prefer Shigechi. He was my boy, man, from last season.
Oh man, Shigechi.
Yeah.
Also, but the big thing with me, like you brought it up, Makenshi, like just like the whole range situation. Yeah. Just the fact, like, who knows where he is. So it's gonna be interesting for tomorrow's episode to see how he handles his stand. Because if he really isn't close by, like I predicted or whatnot, and he's really in his jail cell, I feel like that's kind of a con on his end, and we might be able to, do something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's so big. I don't think he can fight close, hand to hand, close up. He wouldn't risk a bit sitting his fat ass on a bench and hiding there in case he could find him. And I think Koichi might even get involved. Like he might roll up to that fight somehow tomorrow. We don't know, man. But I guess that could be a thing.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be good. I think he could roll up to that. He's looking for him as well, and they've got this cat and mouse thing going on. Koichi hiding from him, going to this room.
Like this, stand users are attracted to stand users.
Yeah, they're just drawn to each other. It's weird, man. She, what's her name? The chick that Koichi is dealing with. She could just be like drawn to him halfway across the world, like a dowsing rod or some shit. Like you never know, man. She could turn up. Yeah.
When you leave.
Yo, I'm back.
Yo,
I don't know if you guys almost wrapped up, but
yeah, we're about to do it pretty soon. You wanna go ahead and give on the episode that's coming up tomorrow?
What'd you say?
Well, what you think might? You want to go ahead and give your thoughts on the episode tomorrow and see what you think might happen?
Oh, like how I think it's gonna play out?
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to get more of Black Sabbath. That's what I'm really excited for that. I mean, which I don't know if you guys already talked about this, like with the test being not even really about the lighter, but being more so about like what people can withstand, like the arrow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So for tomorrow's episode, I'm kind of I want to see how that goes. Like once Giorno like uses his stand and all that, against Polpo.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if it's gonna be like an all-out kind of stand fight, like we saw against, or like what we saw with Bruno and Giorno, or if it's.
I don't think it'll be that serious because like with Giorno and like Bruno, like they were literally fighting themselves, like they were getting hit. So like with Popo, like he's in jail, so it's like
almost I think it's gonna be like a test fight just to see what his stand is.
Yeah. The weird thing, Giorno's power seems to mingle with other people's powers and produces some weird outcome. So I think with seeing Giorno's power interact with a guy that's got that stand giving arrow, it's going to be like this weird like mutation of a fight. That's what I feel as though these fights are going to be like. It's like a tangled web almost sometimes when these fights have the outcome, right? So it'll be interesting to see, like I said, like the effects that Giorno's powers will have, because I still don't understand Giorno's powers. It's still not as simple as just explaining it in a paragraph. There's a little bit more to it. Yeah.
I was kind of thinking, right? You know how like when Giorno hit Bruno and then Bruno gets up and he has this power, but what really happened, like he was hit with so much power that his mind couldn't incorporate everything and he was pushed out of his own body. I was kind of thinking, could Giorno possibly be an aid, like someone who could boost up his team's like ability, their stand ability, if he learns how to use his powers properly? So it could be like, here, I'm gonna give you some power up.
That's
kind of thing.
Yeah, like a class system, right? Like he buffs them almost somehow, like with his powers.
Give you the Sharingan.
Yeah, that would be so sick. And then it would go back to the theme of here being like this part being stand battles, because then if he's boosting up his team and everyone stand works hand in hand, like that's cool.
Yeah. That's what I'm most excited for, seeing the other guys get introduced and see what their powers are and how they combine their stand powers to work together, right, as a team. We tend not to see that a lot in JoJo. People working together. Like we all wanted to see the X-Men work together, right, in films, how their powers combine and they work together. I want to see that with stands, right? How people bounce off each other with their powers. Yeah, that kind of stuff. Like especially since there's factions and gangs now with stand powers, and they have this harmony almost working together. That would be interesting.
Agreed.
Very true. Very true. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think that is about it for this podcast. I think we've been going for like almost an hour and like 30 minutes, something like that. I think we're going to try doing these either every Thursday to try and talk about the episode before the day before it airs. So maybe we'll do it every Thursday, or maybe we'll do it after after the episodes, like every Sunday. So yeah, man, my name's Blaze. You guys already know who I am. Thank you guys for stopping by. If you guys are new from any of these other channels and are fans of them, thank you for stopping by. It really means a lot. And here are the other guys, man, doing their outros.
Thank you guys for stopping by. Really appreciate it. Love you guys all. Love you guys as well here also. Like, man, it feels good just to be with you guys in this podcast. Like, I'm really grateful. Like, man, it's really been fun.
Yeah,
thank you, man. It was fun.
Yeah, thank you guys for sticking around the chat this long, man. I think for me, I love the JoJo community, having the banter with them. I think the nicest community for me has been JoJo and Gintama community. So yeah, thank you guys for sticking around and listening to us this long.
Yeah, you guys are awesome.
Yeah, thank you guys as well. I know I kind of dipped out halfway into it, but it was great talking with you guys about JoJo, and I definitely look forward to doing these a lot more because this is a lot of fun. Like, I didn't want to leave, but I had to. That's why, like, I had to come back. I was like, I hope they're not done yet, but
yeah,
yeah, it was really awesome for sure.
Oh yeah, man, it was fun, dude. It was fun having all you guys. So thank you guys for coming out, and yeah, man, you guys are awesome. I'll catch you guys on the next one. I'll see you later, chat. We're outies 5,000. Peace, and remember, as always, stay blazed.